Hi, this is Jay, and welcome to the 2025 Backlash Results and Discussion Show. To start out, the opening match, it was Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest versus LA Knight in a fatal four-way match for the United States Championship. The action started out very quickly and got off to a red-hot start. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre immediately rolled to the outside of the ring, leaving LA Knight to Jacob Fatu brawling in the ring. Knight wasted no time, sending Jacob Fatu head first into the ring post. And with that, a brawl ensued on the outside between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. The Priest re-entered the ring. It was very back and forth. After throwing Drew McIntyre down outside the floor, LA Knight stood tall, going for an immediate early pinfall on Jacob Fatu that only resulted in a one count. And as the action heated up, Damian Priest and LA Knight joined forces to go ahead and dump Jacob Fatu outside the ring. Very back and forth, some really big high spots in the match where Damian Priest launched himself off the rope, delivering a surprise Hurricane Rana to Jacob Fatu. It was very, very hot and heavy. And as the momentum started to build up, Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre fought on the outside. Very wild, very fast pace. Fatu landed a senton splash to Drew McIntyre, who then got hit by a BFT finisher by LA Knight, who was then joke slammed by Damian Priest. Priest barely had any time to even recover before getting blasted by a Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre. But no, they left all four men down, and no one was able to capitalize in any way. And in the end, Jacob Fatu went ahead and went for laid LA Knight across the announce table, going for an elbow drop on him. But Solo Sikoa rushed in and pulled Fatu to safety. There, LA Knight shifted his attention to Jacob Fatu and landed a moonsault. And then out of nowhere, out of the crowd, we see someone who most people don't know. It is the newly signed Jeff Cobb, who just left TNA and whose contract ran out. Big name over in Japan as well. Laid waste to LA Knight, tossed him back into the ring, and Jacob Fatu goes for his finishing top rope moonsault there in the 1-2-3. Jacob Fatu retains. It was a really good match, I thought. And onto the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, we had Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. This one was very hot. This one was very physical and technical, both. They both landed their signature moves on each other. A lot of shoving and pushing to start the match, trying to gain the early upper hand on each other. And it turned into a move for move grappling exchange between the two, with Lyra Valkyria going for a pendulum submission on Becky Lynch. And then from there, Becky Lynch did end up coming back, hitting a pinpoint drop kick, but Lyra Valkyria sidestepping to avoid the contact. And in the end, Lyra Valkyria did end up hitting her with the Nightwing finisher to earn the 1-2-3. And post match, Becky Lynch just lost it and went on and attacked Lyra Valkyria and locked in the disarmer submission after the bell rang. The officials and Adam Pearce were able to rush the ring and end the attack. With this match, I really thought Becky Lynch should have won the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria has been a good champion, but in my opinion, the Women's Intercontinental Championship needs a little more notoriety to be pushed more forward into the becoming being considered and recognized as a main tier championship while still a new title in the WWE. And Becky Lynch, with her name value, would be able to bring that prestige to that title. I do believe she will be your next Women's Intercontinental Championship, just to give that title a little bit of boost and elevation and in status and making it one of the premier titles in the WWE. Next match we have is Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. Since winning at WrestleMania, Dominic Mysterio has been, I feel, a really good Intercontinental Champion. I feel him holding on to that title for a long time. I feel him at least holding on to that championship until SummerSlam, where he will most likely meet Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. And in there, I do see by that point, Finn Balor breaking away from Judgment Day, going back on his own, readopting the demon Finn Balor persona, and in that taking that into SummerSlam and defeating Dominic Mysterio down the road. But back to this match versus Penta, it was a very good match. It was very quick. I mean, the action never slowed down. Dominic whipped Penta into the ropes, hit a suicide DDT combo at ringside. Then Dominic wore down Penta with a chinlock until Penta rolled outside of the ring and battled back, firing up with a sling blade. Penta then walked the top turnbuckle and nailed a high impact splash to Dominic on the floor. Like very back and forth action, and a tribute to Liv Morgan. Dominic did hit the Oblivion, but that wasn't even enough to get a 1-2-3. Fight moved to the apron. Penta spiked Dominic with a nasty looking Mexican destroyer on the apron that was, it sent the crowd into a frenzy for sure. And as the action kind of came to its boiling point with both of them battling back and forth, out comes, of course, Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio with Carlito and JD McDonough. JD McDonough tried to hold Penta. Balor tried to hit. JD McDonough held Penta, and Finn Balor went to nail Penta, who got caught by the referee. Ended up all three of them getting ejected from ringside. And as Penta went to the top rope, he was actually pushed off the rope by El Grande Americano. And with a headbutt to Penta, Dominic hit the frog splash to score the pin and retain his Intercontinental Championship. In our semi-main event, we had Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Gunther made his in-ring return to face Pat McAfee after losing the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. This is his first match since losing the championship at WrestleMania. And as the match got underway, Michael Cole told that this will be the first time in his career that he will be biased on commentary, which he is generally always biased. Yeah. But he was definitely, you could tell he was cheering Pat McAfee on. McAfee came into the match just wearing black jeans and white boots and some Jordans, which was actually pretty funny. Uh, Rallying, he was trying to get the crowd on his side, chanting "You tapped out" to Gunther, which he did at WrestleMania to lose his World Heavyweight Championship to Jey Uso. And the action started out really hot. Gunther hit McAfee with a clothesline, and it was good. And as Gunther got up, they started exchanging chops, and the chops you could just hear. I mean, if you would have been in the arena, you could almost just hear them chops. They sounded really. They were really hard hitting chops, and there was a lot of early pin attempts going back and forth. And to finish the match, Michael Cole he had Gunther locked Pat McAfee in a sleeper hold, which Mike got Michael Cole out of his seat and to come check on his friend and his broadcast partner. And as McAfee made his way to his feet, McAfee got Gunther towards the ropes and went for a inside suplex outside the ring. McAfee grabbed Gunther's foot and tried to get the pinfall for Pat McAfee that way, as was the finish, the WrestleMania 5 finish between Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior. And Gunther did kick out of that. And after that, Pat McAfee jumped on Gunther's back, tried to land him in a sleeper hold, went for a body scissors. Gunther landed a couple really stiff shots to the ribs, getting out of that hold and putting Pat McAfee back in a submission hold, in a sleeper hold, and McAfee passed out, forcing the referee to stop the match. So therefore, Gunther ended up defeating Pat McAfee by submission. In our main event, we had John Cena versus Randy Orton. The match started out with both men locking up quite a few times with each other, struggling to gain an upper hand. Cena offers a handshake, and then as soon as Cena offered the handshake to Randy Orton, he landed the eye poke of doom on Randy Orton, and that was a good way to kind of establish his heel turn a little bit more. Orton then returned the favor, and they just basically turned into a pure brawl from there. Orton landed a lot of really good stomps and suplexes, and Cena rallied back going for an AA. One of the big highlights as Orton escaped the AA, went for his trademark draping DDT over the second rope, only for Cena to counter that into the STF. And as both men got back to their feet, Cena hit a second AA, which only earned a near fall. One of the highlights of the night was Cena going for a third AA, but in a dramatic turn as he was going ahead and trying to land the third AA, Randy Orton actually reversed it into an RKO midair, which was, I didn't even almost see it until the replay that he actually did, and it looked really impressive. And as both men got to their feet, Orton, as both men were making it up to their feet, Orton slithered back to the corner, looking for his patented punt kick to the head. And as he went for that, Cena countered him with another AA, and in the process ended up taking out the referee. And then as the referee was out, Cena went to the outside and was looking for the championship belt to use in the match. And as Cena went to do that, as the second referee ran down, Orton was definitely on a warpath. He ended up going to the outside, clearing the announce table, going to set up for third AA into the announce table. And then Orton hit a second RKO, which John Cena kicked out. They were arguing with Orton arguing with the official, allowed Cena to use the ring bell on Orton. I'm sorry, the championship belt, not the ring bell, the championship belt on Orton. Orton hit an RKO, no referee to make the count. Out comes SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis and his staff. And this was the highlight of the night. Orton just went on an RKO binge fest. I mean, hitting everybody. I delivered 5 RKOs in a row. So it was really amazing. And as Orton turned his attention back to Cena, out came R-Truth pleading with Cena.
And personally, I think they should have brought up Travis Scott, because I think that would have brought more popularity. But I mean, R-Truth, he's still him, bro. But Travis Scott, he just
you like Travis Scott.
Scott's him. Travis is just Travis, bro.
Yeah. And as Orton turned his attention back to Cena, R-Truth came out and pleaded with Orton to stop. And only for Orton to hit him out of nowhere with an RKO, which he can never trust a Viper.
Yeah.
And as Orton leaned over to the ropes to talk to R-Truth, to talk smack to R-Truth, Cena snuck in with the belt, hit Orton with the belt, a slow count, got your 1, 2, 3. And John Cena's defeating Randy Orton with a very heelish belt shot to end the match. Overall, it was a very good pay-per-view. I was very highly entertained by it. The only thing is there was a lot, and they had to keep the runtime shorter tonight because we do have a UFC pay-per-view starting at 10 o'clock, and they wanted to go ahead and make sure. So I mean, we only had five matches tonight. We were supposed to have 8. I mean, three matches got cut, which one of the matches that got cut would have probably been the best match of the night, which would have been Roman Reigns and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I'm almost wondering we will probably get that match at Money in the Bank, which will be your next PLE. But overall, it was a really good pay-per-view. Tying up a lot of the loose WrestleMania ends. It's going to be really interesting now heading into Money in the Bank. And we also have the Saudi show coming up, the Showdown. And it's going to be a very interesting road to see how they're going to set this up heading into SummerSlam. SummerSlam is looking very promising. I think there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. And it's going to be really interesting to see now with Becky Lynch. I do believe with the direction she should go after losing this match to Lyra Valkyria. I liked how she attacked her after the match, showed a little bit more of that vicious side. But what I do believe they should do is have her join Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and with Paul Heyman and their new stable, kind of as a callback to the Dangerous Alliance of WCW in the early 90s. I think Becky Lynch would really fit well in that Medusa kind of heel manager but active wrestler role, where she can wrestle but still kind of escort them out to the ring and kind of help them win matches that way to get some cheap heat. And I do think she would fit really well in that stable. And honestly, I believe as a third active member, along with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, I think we really need to get Austin Theory in there somehow. He has been showing so much promise and upside lately that they need to wrap this whole thing up with him and Grayson Waller. Have him either turn heel and set Waller up as a babyface so Theory can join Seth Rollins' new stable, kind of as that young hotshot type type flavor to the to that faction. I think he would fit really well in there. That is my Backlash post-show report for this evening. Thank you, and have a good night.
See you at Money in the Bank.